Oh, no. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first IWGA press conference here at the World Games 2022 in Birmingham, Alabama. Our topics today are, of course, the opening ceremony, which will start when, I think, exactly 10 hours, 9:30 with the pre-show, and 8 o'clock, then we'll have the grand opening. We also want to give you an overview what you can expect and what people can look forward to during the next 10 competition days. When I talk about sport fans, I do not talk about sport fans just in Birmingham, Alabama or in the US, but also sports fans all over the world, for they can watch the World Games via the different platforms live or delayed for the people who are in Europe and will be in their bed during most of the events. So, my name is Herman Kewitz. I serve as the IWGA press officer. And before we get into the details, I would like to introduce our guests on the panel. The World Games has one principle, and this principle is the athletes comes first, always. And this principle is in place since 1981 when we started this journey. And so I'd like to introduce firstly Sofia Olofsson from Sweden. She is a reigning World Games champion in Muay Thai, but that's not all of her. There is more to learn. She's also the Athlete of the Year in 2016 and one of our GOATs. GOATs means greatest athletes of all time at the World Games. And for this, she will be one of the flag bearers during the opening ceremony today. Great to have you with us. And while talking about GOATs, over there is James Keogh. He was a runner-up in the voting for the greatest athletes of all time from Ireland. And he took part in nine World Games and won 9 times a medal. Great to have you with us here. So then I would like to introduce to you Jose Perorena, who is my boss, signing the paycheck. So I have to be nice and polite to him. Right next to him is Joachim Gosso, the CEO of the International World Games Association. And then we have here Jonathan Porter, chairman of the BOC, which means Birmingham Organizing Committee. You are the host here. And right next to him, Nick Sellers, great to have you with us. He's the CEO of the Birmingham Organizing Committee. And you promised all of us, not all of us, but especially the people here in Birmingham, and of course our athletes, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. There are just a few hours to go, and then we will hopefully fulfill this promise. Great to have you with us. I would like to start with a question to Jonathan Porter, if you don't mind. That's a long time of preparation behind you. Now the games are actually coming. Now the games are here. Let us know, what do you expect from the World Games?
Well, thank you for the question. And first of all, good morning. And for those of you that are not from Birmingham in the state of Alabama or the U.S., welcome. Before I begin, I also would like to thank our good friends at the IWGA for giving the city of Birmingham and the state of Alabama the opportunity to host this 11th edition of the World Games, and we're extremely excited and humbled and proud to do just that. So Herman, it's been, Birmingham won the bid in 2015. Here we are 7 years later, and we believe that we are ready, we're prepared to host the city. You talk about a once-in-a-lifetime event for some of our athletes. This will probably be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for them to feel the heat of Alabama in mid-July. But we do believe that as a community, as a state, as a country, that we're ready to make sure that our athletes have an amazing experience, our fans have an amazing experience. Our board has worked tirelessly with volunteers to cover a number of items to make sure that these, we believe, will be the best games ever for the World Games.
So let me add, are we ready to rumble?
We are ready to rumble. So tonight, as you mentioned, the opening ceremony kicks off at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight. Protective Stadium is going to be full. The experience is going to be amazing. We believe that the show and the artists and all the talent that we have will really showcase the excitement that exists here in Birmingham and the state of Alabama. So we are ready to rumble.
Great, thank you. Give us one glance of your jacket. Open it. It's a very patriotic.
Well, Herman, you're going to put me on the spot, and that's a little bit self-serving. But we do have a great partner here in Birmingham, a good friend of our CEO and myself. His family have a very nice tailoring business here in Birmingham, been here since the mid-'70s. And they make these jackets for our executive committee members. And to do something special to represent the United States, our lining has the American flag on the inside. So we were extremely excited. He did not share with us that he was going to do that. But thank you, Herman.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. Jose, you said to Around the Rings in an interview, you don't see any clouds in the sky, talking about the World Games 2022 in Birmingham. What's the weather forecast for the upcoming days?
Well, I think it's a check-in yesterday. Okay, there's this in this time. There's been a storm normally in the afternoon, all right? But 25% is acceptable because in the hot is very, very hot. The weather, I think, is raining a little. Is not problem in my opinion. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
May I ask you a little bit more seriously? What is special from your point of view when talking about the World Games 2022? We have a delay.
Well, I think it's first welcome. You represented. We have an accreditation, 750 press member here.
Yeah,
it's a big representation for the media around the world. The television, we have more than 60 television is live this afternoon to the open ceremony. I think this is important for us, but Herman say for us is more important the athletes. When we start after the last games in Poland, million and million athletes around the world is preparing these games. Only have one dreams, qualify to participate in Birmingham. But unfortunately in 20, we have the pandemic. I've broken the dream for these athletes. But anonymously, the organizing committee, the sponsor, and with the World Games decided, it's difficult to work, but decided to delay 1 year in favor to the athletes. The athletes renovated this dream, and now we have around 4,000 athletes here in Birmingham, representing 106 countries. This is very important because yesterday in my speech say countries like Aruba or like Cambodia or like Macedonia qualify athletes stay here. And more important is I need to clear. Only 4 months ago in last meeting, we decided $1 to the ticket is make reservation, the organizing committee pay to reconstruction venues for Ukraine. Because we have 100 athletes for Ukraine competing here in very, very difficult situation because in training in Poland, in Macedonia, and in Spain, outside at home, we're not in the family, but finally he pushed hard, stay here representing Ukraine. I think this is the real atmosphere for the World Games. We integrate around to the athletes. I check in, I hope all the venues is ready and the athletes is ready. And it is only your opinion in general what happened in these games. But my expectation is perhaps what the best in our history.
Thank you very much, Jose. Actually, I met 3 of the Ukrainian athletes this morning in the lobby of our hotel, and I was quite pleased to see them. I wanted to follow up with you, Nick, but I have to apologize for Jose mentioned some numbers, so let's stick to the numbers. Achim, I asked you to prepare something to let the people know the dimension of this World Games. You always claim it's not 34 World Championships in a row, but it's something special. It's way more than that. Would you please help me a little bit?
No, Nick, it's me.
Yes, good morning to everybody from my side too. We have a lot of numbers for you, but definitely I know that you will be also prepared for that. You'll receive the information later on. But it's more than 34 sports that we present here in 11 days. It's even more than 58 disciplines in 11 days. It's that the beautiness of this event that we bring all these different disciplines together and the different sports and present that during these days. So the chance for everybody is here to get the known and the unknown and to get their sport identified in these 11 days, to walk around, get experience, and just consume them. For us, it's also one of the main DNAs that we have in us to share our athletes with you as close as possible, not only with the media, but also with the citizens on site. And therefore, you know, we have also the World Games Plaza in place for 10 days. We come back there with the athletes, together with your citizens, and hopefully everybody will see at the end of the day that sport, or to feel sports, is really to be close to the athletes. And ours are very open-minded on that I learned through all World Games that happened so far.
Thank you, Joachim. Nick, now it's up to you. I asked you before we met here, what are you doing right now? During the last days? I think it's not a 9-to-5 job, am I right?
No, it's not, Herman. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Birmingham. I guess the best analogy, Herman, would be like a duck on the water. It may seem calm to the world, and that's what we want, and it certainly is, and the show is going to be beautiful. But there's a lot of activity under the surface. The team is working so very hard, thousands of volunteers, countless of individuals in our community are coming together for this very special moment to prepare. And there's countless details that go into presenting a world-class event for a world-class international sporting competition. I'm confident we're ready. We're taking care of the final details. I think the fans and the athletes and the officials from around the world will be so pleased with how beautiful our venues are and how they're so specially integrated into the tradition in the heart of the city of Birmingham, from Sloss Furnaces to Powell Avenue Steam Plant to different parks and locations that are unique to our great city.
Thank you. While we are among us, would you please be so kind to reveal at least 1 or 2 secrets of the opening ceremony, about the opening ceremony?
I'll reveal a secret, but I hope our executive producer is okay with it. So we've already talked a little bit about how a gentleman named Hunter Cowald, who is the Green Goblin in the latest Spider-Man movie, is going to make a special appearance. He has the smallest aircraft that humans could ever fly on, and he's flying as a human drone. So we already know about that. But there will also be a beautiful drone show that reveals itself as part of the opening ceremony tonight. And it will do so many different things, including as the entire stadium begins to clap along with the theme song, Hope of Alabama, and the world is watching us, and everyone is clapping and singing the chorus, so too will the drone hands be clapping from the sky along with us. And the whole world will watch that. I must say this, Herman, and then I'll finish. You know, President Parawina talked about this as how these athletes have been competing over the last quadrennial with no fans. Tokyo, Beijing, under the Olympic movement. This, we believe, will be the first major international sporting event in the world that has the full fan experience again. And we think the opening ceremony is very close to being sold out. Many of these venues still have opportunity, but the fans, we have over 300,000 tickets that have been purchased to date, and they continue to come in. Communities, much like individuals, are shaped by their experiences. And Birmingham is shaped by historical struggles. It was painful, but it was the epicenter of change for our country. And through that struggle has come a fire that has brought us, I believe, closer together. And the world is going to see this new Birmingham. And they're going to see a city that is ready to be an international city, ready to welcome the world, and to see 3,600 athletes hopefully break some world records and compete for gold from over 100 countries. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. While talking about almost sold out, is there any opportunity to grab a ticket last minute?
There are still opportunities to buy a ticket if fans want to go to twg2022.com, twg2022.com, click on buy tickets. There's a few hundred left for opening ceremony, and you do not want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime moment. You'll talk about it for a long time. There's still tickets available for many of the sporting events, but we're very excited about it and what it's going to mean for our community.
The two of us are very good in advertising the event and ticket sale.
Yes.
So, Sophia, you were the first I introduced, but now the last who I want to ask a question. You are reigning champion in the World Games, and please share with us a little bit of the experience of the World Games in Poland, where you won the title. What is the World Games are about? What are the World Games are about?
Yeah, it's special because when you compete in the World Games, you only compete against champions. So it's much tougher to win than other championships. So yeah, and I had a great experience at the World Games 5 years ago. So, and I hope I get a great experience from this World Games as well.
Yeah, I met yesterday. 1 second. Mayor Woodwin is here with us. Come over, please. Give him a hand, yeah. So, without mic. Good to have you with us. You see, we are prepared. Back to you, Sophia. I went yesterday to a rehearsal for the opening ceremony, and I met 3 of the participants speaking the oath, and they said, "Oh, we are very honored, but we are very nervous as well for marching in and in the view of thousands and thousands of spectators." How do you feel bearing the flag?
Yeah, of course, you're always a little nervous, but it's more like a big honor to be a part of it and be a flag bearer. And yeah, it's going to be fun more than nervous, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. James, how do you feel? Nervous. He said he's nervous. Yeah. Mayor Woodfin, good to have you with us.
Well, let me just say good morning to everybody. I'm clearly crashing your press conference.
We like to have you crashing in our press conference.
Yes, sir. I want to welcome everybody to the city of Birmingham and the World Games 2022. It is an honor to host the games. To the IWGA, to Jose and Akam, it's always good to see you. To our champion, good to see you as well. And to our local organizing committee, our chairman, Jonathan Porter, as well as our CEO, Nick Sellers. Listen, we all are in for a treat over the next 10 days. There's been 6 years of preparation, 6+ years, and I think everybody is in for a treat as we host the games. This is a time for these athletes, these 3,600 athletes from over 100+ countries, to descend upon our community and compete at the highest level. But as I've shared yesterday, and I'll continue to express this in lieu of all the things that's happening across the globe right now, all the divisiveness and all of the things that's pulling us apart. What a wonderful opportunity for us to pause and reflect over the next 10 days and for just as a world, for all of us to come together. So we're happy to celebrate that in the city of Birmingham.
Thank you. You've played a special part tonight. I'm wondering whether you speak the magic words. I declare, but I don't follow up. I'm wondering whether you do rehearsals in front of a mirror.
No rehearsals in front of the mirror. I'll probably go over what I'm going to say a few times, but I think it's important to connect with your audience. This is an opportunity to speak before the entire world tonight, so I better get it right.
May I add a question? What about the legacy? What do you expect as a legacy for Birmingham?
So the legacy it's a really good question. I heard Nick say this, and I pulled this from our CEO, Nick Sellers, but I think we all know Birmingham has a very storied history. Many things good, some not so good, but those things that are not so good have a imprint on our minds. They are embedded in a lot of our history books. A lot of people, when they hear Birmingham, they view it in a time frame of the 1960s and the civil rights movement. And those things are not necessarily the most positive light of our community. And in 2022, we've come a long way as a city and as a people. I think the World Games presents a very unique opportunity for any city in any country across the entire globe to add another chapter to its history book of who it is and showcase that to the entire world. It is a very unique opportunity. That's a lasting legacy related to people coming here and seeing how beautiful of a place this is, how beautiful the people are, the unique topography, the amazing food scenery, the hospitality, the Southern charm, and I can go on what we have to offer as a community. So these are the things that I want people to see. The games haven't been in the United States since the inaugural games of 1981.
1981, yeah.
That's 40 plus years. So to be back in the States and for Birmingham to be the host city, I think we have an amazing opportunity to show the world who we are.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it together
sir.
as a team. Yeah, I would like to open the floor for your questions. Please raise your hand, and it would be great if you could introduce yourself before you shoot your question. Are there any questions? Oh, over there?
I'm Mary Scott. I am a W. Can you talk about preparations for security, some small amount of effort from so many communities and how you manage that security?
Give me a second. The question raises security issues.
Yes,
We
sir.
have people partaking over Facebook or whatever live. So
Repeat the question. Yes.
please.
For our friends on Facebook Live, social media, whatever channel you are on, someone in the audience asked a question related to security preparation protocol. The city of Birmingham, and in conjunction with the so many partners at the table, which included the local organizing committee, sought to have a SEER 1 rating. A SEER 1 rating is the equivalent of just think about a Super Bowl, think about a World Series, think about a top-notch sporting events on American soil. When you get that SEER 1 rating, it triggers federal resources, a coordinated effort through the federal resources, which includes Secret Service, FBI, and all the other alphabets. In conjunction with that, what we've done at a local level is partner with the state, partner with the county, and partner with so many other municipalities that are not only in Jefferson County, but across the state and the South Beach, which includes far west as Mississippi and as well as Georgia, where there's a coordinated effort related to multiple police departments and agencies. When you combine all of that, the SEER 1 rating also says in an event of this magnitude, you limit vehicular traffic. And so the perimeter is pretty wide related to limiting vehicular traffic, which lends itself to more foot traffic. But in addition to that, when you get to one of our venues, it will include magnetometers. It will include limits on what type of bags you can bring in, the size of it, if it needs to be clear or not. All of this information can be found at twg2022.com related to entrance policies, et cetera, but related to the actual effort to keep people safe, a coordinated effort working with so many different agencies. All of that's been in play. All of that's being worked out. Stimulus command, and everybody's working together in coordination to keep people safe.
Thank you. Any further questions? There's one left from my side. Achim, this is the second time that the World Games can be watched worldwide. How can I see the competition, let's say in Australia or in Germany, where we both come from?
We have a worldwide coverage, and this is ensured by our cooperation with the IOC, with the Olympic Channel. On the digital platform of the IOC, you can watch these games throughout the whole 11 days, starting today with the opening ceremony and with all competitions going along all these 11 days. And in addition, we have more than coverage on a unilateral basis with main broadcasters in Europe, but also in Asia and in South America, which is completely covered, for example, with 18 countries by ESPN. For us, it's also a pleasure that we have the next the country of the next host city with the main channel covering these games. This is CCTV in China, and for us, there's also a very good part of these games, a new experience going along with Japanese ones and so on. Australia is the one that will be mainly seen also by the time difference on the digital platforms, I'm quite sure, because there's also that you can go to the archives and take it back to your time and watch the games whenever you want, with all parts, with all events, exciting events. And 223 medal events in 11 days are a challenge. I think the biggest challenge for the audience to follow up with that. For the athletes, I know, and she was very kind to say, and you need to understand, when she comes here and says that she has to fight only champions, it's because all have to qualify for that, and only the top 8 athletes are here. It's not that she can start and have a warm-up partner like she is used to. And therefore the chance to get through is the higher risk. And I appreciate that she's smiling on that, and that shows how professional athletes go along with that. Really great. Thanks.
Yeah. While talking about 223 medal events, we're going to start 9 competitions tomorrow. So dance sport will be one of them. And yeah, that's what I usually I do with last questions when I do an interview is did I forgot to ask a question to my partner? And obviously I forgot to ask 2 questions. So Jose wanted to state something, please.
Yes, I think it's only for more information. In the agenda to the IOC 2020 plus 25, specific is the relation with the gold game with the IOC. In this relation this is a system before say, Agen, is the game is not now. Now is the end of the road. All the athletes need 1 or 2 years before qualify for the games. Exactly use the standard system to the Olympic Games. This means here in Birmingham, the best athletes in all the discipline on the world is present in Birmingham. This is different when before other games. And for your information, the president back is coming the 12 or 13 to follow the games together with us.
Nick, you gave me a sign as well.
Thank you, Herman. I just wanted to mention one important point to follow on President Pereira's comments. These 34 sports, when we first landed the World Games here in Birmingham, it hadn't been in the U.S. in 40 years. And so obviously people in the Southeast, in the sports-crazed Southeast would say, wow, this sounds like a big deal. What are the World Games? Explain it to us. And we had to explain it in very short phrases. What we describe these games and the World Games property is that these represent the new generation of global sports. These are the fastest growing, emerging, most fast-growing sports in the world in many cases. And many of these sports are either on the competed as invitationals, or perhaps we've been invited to the next Olympics, from breaking, sport climbing, softball, karate. These are Olympic level, Olympic caliber athletes, whether their federation competes on a Summer Olympic platform or not, or competes solely on the World Games platform. These, to President Pereira's point, are Olympic caliber athletes, and they deserve Olympic caliber treatment. But an important point that I want to finish with is the Summer Olympics is 33, 34 sports over 10 days, 11 days, and it's over 20 venues. $1 billion of a budget, hundreds and hundreds of staff for years. World Games, 34 sports, over 10 days of competition, over 20 venues around the community, 70 to 75 staff members, and a $65 million budget, and thousands of volunteers. And I want to make that point to acknowledge my teammates on the Birmingham Organizing Committee staff who have worked countless hours. Birmingham is establishing itself. We are emerging as an international city, and this is our opportunity. We will not be perfect, but you can hear me on this. I will promise you, we are going to give our best effort. We're going to get better every day. We're going to give you our best manners. We're going to treat everyone with respect. That's the heart of this mission. That's why we landed these games, to showcase what Birmingham can be and to showcase goodwill. Nothing brings the world together more than sports and music, and we will have some of the best of both.
Thank you very much. May I ask you, Mr. Woodfin, for famous last words before we conclude this press conference?
Famous last words. If you have not gotten your tickets for Sumo, I'm sad for you. Just playing. I would just say this to all of my colleagues that are present on this stage. They have put in a massive amount of work and tenacity and commitment to get us to this point. Here in the city of Birmingham, we strive to be the best version of ourselves. It is an honor, and we look forward to the opening ceremony tonight and over the next 10 days, hosting the world in our community. Let's have some fun. Welcome to the city of Birmingham.
So, wonderful. Let's have some fun. Let's start with it at 8 o'clock or 7:30 tonight. And until the 17th, we can have certainly tons of fun. So, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for taking your time. Thank you very much to you for being here. And I can invite you. I will do this right now. We're going to serve lunch from 12 to 3 here in the main media center, just as an incentive. So, fun? So, I'll hand over to my colleague Jeff, who will answer some questions concerning Lyft and Uber. So, thank you very much and goodbye, and we see each other.